Judie Kaberia was born in 14th November 1982 in Meru, Kenya. She holds a diploma in mass communication and a master's degree in mass communication from the United Kingdom. She is also a journalist and editor at Capital FM Kenya, a correspondent of the German Information Center, Pretoria, South Africa, Radio Netherlands Worldwide Institute for Peace and War Reporting. She is also an officer and a coordinator for East Africa, Wayamo Foundation, accredited media trainer by Internews Kenya, the chair at Africa Checkboard Foundation, and the Women's Newsroom Foundation.
My name is Judie Kaberia. I was born and brought up in Meru County, in Maua, a small village tucked in the remote area, very remote area. Let me say I'm one of those people that I didn't know I would come out of that village. I went to two primary schools. One was a public school, it's called Maua Primary, and then later on I went to St. Paul's boarding. It was a boarding school run by the Catholic Church. Later on I joined Mukumu Girls in Western Kenya. A complete change of the culture. Yeah.
How about your high school? First, your primary school. This was between which year?
I finished my primary school in 1994, and then I joined high school from 1995 to 1998. That's when I completed Mukumu Girls. And then after high school, first my dad wanted me to become a secretary, so I enrolled to do a secretarial study because my dad had a place for me where I would work, and this place that my dad wanted me to work was in our village as his secretary. I knew I wanted to become a journalist when I got to Form 2 because I wanted to get space or a platform where I could talk about female genital mutilation, educate the girls about the dangers of female genital mutilation, especially my community where I grew up. And so my sisters told me that I could not continue with the secretarial studies. So I had already done that for 2 years. I was just about to complete my diploma. It's at that point that we decided to lie to our dad that I was still doing secretarial studies. And then that's when I started studying journalism at Job Institute of Management, and I did it secretly. My dad came for my graduation. It's at that point that my dad knew the school fees he was sending me to pay for secretarial studies, the school fees that I was using to pay for journalism. By good luck, I had done extremely well. I had already started producing features at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. I was in a show. I was already doing so much. I wasn't earning anything. It was a very rough life.
There aren't many female investigative journalists in the media company, and from the hard task that comes with the job, her strong and independent abilities is what makes her to stand out the most. She is a pioneer, and from the extremely challenging workforce that comes with the job, still Judie manages to wake up every day and do what she loves the most.
This lady has been looking for a job. She's a very good journalist, but she can't access you. So this guy is like, okay, come for an interview tomorrow. So I went for an interview the following day. It was very tough. I was out of the country. The questions that were asked was about, I think, the yes and no constitution of Kenya. The only thing I knew much about was the yes and no, but I didn't have the proper details because I was out of the country. But then I was given an internship for 3 months. And the following day when I was called, I was asked, when can you report? I'm like, even today, 2 minutes, I was upstairs. And it's like, why are you standing here? What happened? And because of that commitment, I was given the chance to do internship, and I really had to humble myself. Having worked in Germany, being paid in euros, and now working for free. So patience, humbleness, when you know what you want, I learned that was very important for me. Mm-hmm. So for the 3 months, we were 6 of us on internship. Anne Kibuta, there's Deritu, his soul rest in peace. We just lost Deritu just the other day. There was Simon, there was another guy. We were like 6 of us fighting for one position. So we'll hear fire somewhere, and all of us rush to the same place to report the same story. Basically, it was fighting for us to be selected on the job. But then we decided to team up and work as a group. And by good luck, after 3 months on probation, 3 of us were confirmed. Actually, 4 of us were confirmed, and that's how I got my job at Capital FM. First as just a general reporter, reporting everything, like the launch of the soap. You know, the small stories, that's where we start, the vox pops on the streets. And with time, I recognized that I can actually do something better. Capital FM is very highly commercial. Everything that we write is sponsored, you know. It must have an advertiser. Any story that we report, the news bulletins, everything, even a cough, it has to be paid for. There's nothing that goes on there for free.
She emphasizes how hard she had to work to get to where she is, and what really struck in her mind was the fight, the love, and the passion to help those who are completely voiceless in the society.
I wanted to do features. Features are not like news. A lot of people think they are not very nice, and Capital FM, they never like those things. But because I've done a lot of training, and most of the work that I used to do in Germany were features, and also the training that I did here in Kenya with interviews were features, I knew the importance of telling the story differently, more creatively, running away from just the hard news, but going beyond the usual reporting to try to be unique, to try and bring the stories that are not told. And so I went and asked Chris Kirobi if he could allow me 2 minutes on Saturday and Sunday for me to run my features. And he told me the same thing. Here you can't run anything for free. Do they have an advertiser? I said no, they don't have an advertiser. But I told him, just give me one chance. If they're really boring, nobody responds, then take away the 2 minutes. Then he said, okay. The good thing with Chris Kirubi is somebody who really listens to new ideas. He likes people trying. He'll never turn an idea down. Actually, I did the first feature. I remember it was talking about the second line ARVs and how people get to second line ARVs. Doing something that sounded so boring and so complicated. But when I stumbled upon this information, I realized that it was very informative and very interesting feature. So the story went on air for the first time, 2 minutes for the first time on air on Saturday and Sunday, and there was a lot of feedback. And then there was an advertiser that came on board, and that's how we were able to secure 2 minutes, and then we were added a half a minute. So we had 2 minutes and a half every Saturday and Sunday. So I realized now another strength of mine in feature writing, feature reporting. And from that time, I didn't like breaking news. For me, I'm not that interested person in being the first to report the news. For me, I want to dig deeper. You've said yes, for example, the government has released 120 billion to the education, but for me, is to go and find out, has everybody benefited? What is the impact? Is it actually true that this money has been released, or is it just a story? So for me, it's going beyond the story. It's scratching between the headlines for me to get the unique story, to get the story that has more impact in the society. And for sure, that's how I've won these awards. I'm sure if I was the he says, she says journalist, I would not be having these awards. And so at Capital FM, and then I moved to the political desk, reporting parliament, and then a bit I got another promotion. I became the special project.
So I'm sure that we have students who want to be journalists. We have maybe young women and girls who look up to you and they want to be like you. I'm sure most of them are probably confused. They are finishing school, they don't know which path to take in terms of journalism, health, features. As a young journalist, still fresh in the making, and what will you tell them that can motivate them?
Yes, one thing I tell young journalists who are entering the field, first I ask, please let them be patient. When you enter the newsroom, don't look at Judie Kaberia and want to be Judie Kaberia. Judie Kaberia's journey has not been easy. Maybe don't look at Lulu Hassan and you want to be Lulu Hassan immediately. You listen to Lulu Hassan's story. It's a story of struggle. She didn't get there by one day, by one night, by a month. A story is a long journey, and so many stories of so many other journalists. Nobody just appeared on the screen. You start from the basis, as in you must humble yourself and you must be patient enough. I've told you I did stories of launching the soap. I walked to the field without transport, without a meal, and I did all stories, politics, sports. I remember there's a time I was sent to cover a sports story. I didn't know even which side the ball goes. I was asked, can you give us the results? I said the ball went to the left one time and to the right another side. I'm so anti-sports. But basically, when you enter the newsroom, you are thrown all over. So be patient, go all over that you are sent, and it's through going all over that you are sent that you'll be able to pick your line. That's when you know, I can do environment well, I can do health well. But you can't go and know immediately, this is what I can do well. So you have to go do all the dirty work, do the public relations of the media house, do everything that you have to do. And slowly by slowly, you'll make it. For me, it took, I think, 5 years.
She hopes to reach many young generations by empowering, educating, and enlightening them on various aspects of life, combined with her journalistic skills and amazing experiences she has acquired all through over the years. Narrating the challenges, lessons learned, and the new experiences, she still remains to be an extraordinary person, was filled with compassion and kindness in the art of helping others as she looks up to her role models and mentors who motivate her each and every day. Faye Barmao for the strength of a woman.